Well, that's it. Manchester United are out of the Champions League and out of Europe completely for the 23-24 season, and we get what we deserved. That was an absolute embarrassing performance from Man United. I can't even pick out a player that stood out to me tonight, because in a game that's a must-win, not one player looks like they gave a shit coming off that pitch tonight. It was a terrible, terrible performance from Man United. One shot on goal in 94 minutes in a must-win game is absolutely pathetic. Now, I understand Bayern Munich are a world-class team and they're very hard to break down. But at the end of the day, we've scored 3 goals against them in Munich, so why couldn't we actually try and score against them tonight? We didn't look like we stood a chance. We got out-possessed. We just couldn't string 6 passes together. It was all over the place, and we didn't look like we were going to be a massive threat at all. And the one shot on target that I remember, which was the only one that was recorded as a proper shot on target, was Luke Shaw battering it out in the first half outside the box, which just went straight to Neuer's hands. We didn't challenge the defence. We didn't challenge the keeper. It was an absolute embarrassment. And you know what? This is exactly how we expected Bayern Munich to play. We knew that we were going to pass it around. We knew that they weren't going to forcefully and risk injuries or risk like depleting their energy levels, because they don't need to. They've already qualified for the Champions League. So they're going to want to accumulate more points. And again, in the first game, when we lost 4-3 to them, they didn't get out of second gear. They were still stuck in neutral tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It was absolutely pathetic. But before we carry on with this video, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new as we continue our road to 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below on how you feel about United being out of Europe completely and what were your thoughts on the game. But anyway, let's get right back into the video. So, where did it go wrong? I mean, we've been saying this for weeks now. After every loss, do we point fingers at the manager? Do we point fingers at the board? Do we point fingers at the players? It's all up in the air. And some fans want Ten Hag out. Some fans want certain players out. Some fans are just demanding for the youth team or the younger players to have their experience and just give them a run out. It's easier said than done, because if you sack Erik Ten Hag, who do you replace him with? If you put on the youth players and they don't work out, then the kids aren't good enough and we've got no future with them. It's a complete mess, and with Maguire and Shaw also both getting injured in this game is a massive, massive setback. Varane came back, and considering he's not had any game time in the last 13 games, he played really well. And I felt like that for a Varane performance, it isn't the typical standard that he normally showed us last season, but he was still a standout player, you could say. But best out of a bad bunch, I have to say. Amrabat as well. Amrabat did all right, but they're only 2 players I could really say actually stood out. McTominay, how I feel about McTominay. He completely changes the way we play football. It's like playing with 10 men. I've said this, and the only reason why Scott McTominay is in this team is because he's scored them goals, them vital goals that have been important to our season. But that's why the system isn't working. McTominay is great when he's crashing into the box, out of control, and scores a goal or scores a tap-in or scores a header. That's what he's brilliant at. But with the build-up play, with the tracking back, with the defensive duties, with running with the ball, he's not good enough. And Erik Ten Hag is going to get sacked because of players like McTominay. I'm not blaming just McTominay, because we can't be blaming certain individuals. It's a team performance, but you've got to pick out the weak links. And the likes of Rashford, the likes of McTominay, the likes of Onana, these are the players that are letting our manager down. And we fought so goddamn hard to have Erik Ten Hag as our manager. Everyone, the media were pushing for Pochettino, and the fans demanded for Erik Ten Hag. And all of a sudden, Erik Ten Hag randomly becomes the manager of Manchester United. Is that a coincidence? For me, I think not, because Erik Ten Hag just won the league with Ajax. He had a brilliant season last season, but again, you see which fans jump ships early. You see which fans want to try and make the survival, and they make the jump, taking that risk. They don't have any loyalty in this game, and this is why they're probably one of the first people to actually criticise the managers when things that don't go right. I mean, look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer finished second this season before he signed Ronaldo, Varane and Sancho. And then what happened? By December time, he was sacked. Look at that. We came second, and then all of a sudden we're title contenders because we came second. That's not how it works. We had a very decent season that season, but we didn't build on it. We got in Varane, we got in Jadon Sancho, and we got in Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, massive names in the footballing world, but them 3 signings weren't enough. We needed another 4 or 5 squad players to actually help us out and actually get it over the line. But certain players just don't look interested anymore, and the squad needs a complete reset. Ralph Rangnick said this before Erik ten Hag came here, and if Erik ten Hag does survive, we'll be still quoting what Ralph Rangnick said after Ten Hag is gone. But hopefully he's not gone, because I'm Erik ten Hag in. People call me delusional, but you know what? That's their opinions. I firmly stand by my manager because he's been ridiculed with injuries. The squad is absolutely torn apart. There's hardly any chemistry. I think the players are just completely depleted at the moment. They look knackered. Rasmus Højlund walking off that pitch tonight, he looked absolutely exhausted. The way he was running around after the last 5 minutes, his arms were flopping about, he was heavy breathing. He looked absolutely empty on the gas tank. He was absolutely gone. And I feel sorry for him because he got absolutely torn apart by Bayern Munich's defence tonight. He was exhausted, he was worn out, he was bullied. It was a bad performance from Højlund. He didn't get the service and he just couldn't keep up with the physicality with Bayern Munich's defenders. Kim Min-jae was on him like a rash all game long. Bruno Fernandes, for me, you know, he's supposed to be our big game player. He's supposed to be our captain. I can see why Roy Keane, Gary Neville, so many people do come after Bruno because his recent performances, I've always stuck by Bruno. But at the end of the day, these performances in the last few weeks have been completely unacceptable. What has he done for us, you know? Apart from scoring a last-minute winner against Fulham, you know, which got us a very important 3 points, that was practically down to Palestra. Bruno Fernandes was very greedy with the shot, and it went in, thankfully. But, you know, we're out of the Champions League. What positives can we take from this? Hardly any Sunday football, you know, pretty much Saturday games only. And yeah, that's it. You know, hopefully we have a decent run in the FA Cup. But hopefully we focus on the league now. But I feel like that, you know, we know what the Glazers are like. When the managers don't get European football, especially Champions League football, they cut the ties loose, and that's it. The manager's gone. The Glazers will never change until they're fully gone. And hopefully when Sir Jim Ratcliffe does come in, a change is made. But he could be a complete puppet for the Glazers at this point. The deal keeps getting stalled week after week after week. Nothing's going to change anytime soon, and we've just got to get used to it. As United fans, we've just got to stick out it until January, and hopefully we get signings into the team. Hopefully we get rid of some players that do need to go, and hopefully we bring in players and Erik ten Hag is backed because we need to kick on. We've only got a few weeks left of the December window. And hopefully on January 1st and over the next 2 weeks or so, we get a lot of transfer news for players that United are linked to. But right now, it's very quiet in the transfer market. You've got rumours about certain players United are interested in, certain loan opportunities. But with the injuries as well, hopefully when injuries come back as well, we kind of get more stability and we kind of get a more functioning starting 11. Because right now, it's different back fours, it's different midfield pairings, it's different frontline attack. We don't have a consistent 11, and this is also why we're failing, because there's no consistency. But again, Man United, we make history again, but for the wrong reasons. We're the first team in Premier League history, or in the Premier League, that out of English teams, to finish bottom of our group twice. Our last time being in 2005-2006 under Sir Alex Ferguson. So it's not just... So Sir Alex Ferguson, you know, he did have his bad moments as well. But I'm not going to sit here ranting and raving. It was a pathetic excuse for a game. The players need to look at themselves, and Erik ten Hag just needs to get it right for Liverpool, because if we play like that, we are done for. We are absolutely done for, because Anfield, they will not stop. You hear about the 12th man being the crowd and actually boosting the players and actually helping the team move on. Old Trafford again was the theatre of the library. It was absolutely silent. It was a bit of noise picked up for probably about 4 minutes throughout the entire 90. And, you know, the fans say they back the players, they back the manager, but I don't think they really do, because they're the reason why, you know, I've explained on the channel, when I go to games and I'm not sat in the Stretford end and I'm sat all over the stadium. I'll sing songs, I'll chant chants, and I just get stares at like I'm just some randomer, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I get looks at like, why are you singing? Why are you backing this team? Because I support Manchester United. The players, whether you think they deserve it or not, that's down to you. But I was brought up on the fact that I clap my team off, win, lose or draw, no matter how good or how bad we're playing, because that's what it means to be a Man United fan for me. But anyway, thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.